So, I wanted to talk to you about some great composers today, one of which is Felix Mendelssohn. He was born in 1809, died in 1847. He became public at the age of 9. He wrote a couple is an understatement, but a couple of his most famous works include the Wedding March, which is and he also helped with Midsummer Night's Dream, which is by Shakespeare. And well, yes, Felix is an amazing man and conductor, or composer. I'm more interested in his sister, Fanny Mendelssohn, who, because of her gender, was unable to fully immerse herself into the conducting and composing scene. She came out to her family as she wanted to, and everybody knew that she wanted to compose music and be a part of that scene, but was unable to. But she fully came out to her family privately at the same time as her brother. So she was 12 and he was 9. She, before her family, a private audience, demonstrated 24 preludes from Bach's well-tempered clavier from memory. And she had never performed before that, and she didn't perform for nearly 20 years, I think, 20 years after that, for a charity benefit. So it wasn't even just because she wanted to perform for herself, it was because she wanted to perform for other people. She was born in 1805 and died in 1847 at the age of 41. She was obviously the sister of Felix Mendelssohn, granddaughter of Moses Mendelssohn, who was a philosopher. So she comes from a line of fairly decently strong people. She had about a little over 460 compositions that she had written, and her first 6 that she had written for herself were published under her brother's name. Her brother allowed her to do that and wanted to be able to help her get her music out there, but knowing that she was unable to due to her gender, said that it was okay for her to release her music under his name, which later on he shared how, or it said online how the Queen, I think it was, said that she wanted to perform it. Somebody wanted to perform it. Anyway, I'm probably going to cut this part out. Her father was more forbearing, which is the nice way to put it, and said music will perhaps become his, meaning Felix's, profession, while for you it can and must only be an ornament. He really didn't want her to be a part of that due to stereotypical gender roles at the time, which she later fulfilled after she married William Hensel, whom was a Parisian painter. Together they had one child whom Fanny named Sebastian Ludwig Felix Hansel, who each name is one of her favorite composers, other than the last name, of course. But Sebastian, Ludwig, and then Felix, in that order, her favorite composers. Which I find is very cute and cool. But I'm going to play a few of her songs now. Just a little tidbits. Das Jahr, 12 Keresztük. They were German. Originally they were Jewish. Both families from the mother and father's side came from Jewish descent, but they eventually, before Felix was born, converted to Christianity, I do believe. And then Fanny herself converted to more of a liberal Judaism later on in life. For later, Waldskindlet. Later on in her life, after her first couple hundred compositions, and once she married her husband, she became more of a feminine, more dainty kind of writing, less of her more out there kind of music. And while helping her brother by preparing for Overture, in 1847 she suffered a stroke. So during this song she suffered a stroke, and she had a family history of it on both her mother and her father's side, and it eventually came back down to her, and that's how she passed away. And then later on, about 6 months later, her brother had just gotten back from Switzerland, had finished writing this wonderful piece in honor of his sister, whom he was having a hard time getting over because she was such an inspiration to him. He actually started calling her Minerva, which is the goddess of wisdom. So he really looked up to her. And after she passed away, he kind of lost the zest of life and the willingness to want to get out there and compose more often. But after he wrote Quartet Number 6 in F minor, the string quartet, he passed away actually on my birthday, November 4th, 1847. But this was the song that he had written to for his sister after her passing. Which I find is very cute because it kind of like goes up and down like a life would. You have your high moments, you have your low moments, and they're the sad moments and the happy moments, and I think that he perfectly captures that in this song. But thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you learned a little bit more about the almost forgotten sister of Felix Mendelssohn.